Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Northside Cloud POP.1 podcast here with our team captain Devin Schlink.
What's up?
What'd you do this weekend?
I got top 4 at Sneak Peek and then undefeated at Locals. The weekend and then Wednesday.
We're getting ready for the boys to go out to Costa Rica for the YCS Championship Series. Super exciting. We've been really focusing on that. Before we get into the profile, a shout out our sponsors, Dueling Guard. You guys can check them out at duelingguard.com. Whenever you check out, make sure you use code POP1 for 5% off. It helps us out a lot. All right, Devin, let's get into it.
All right. So I played Yubel, the new support. Start off with 3 Dark Beckoning Beast. This is a fantastic normal summon. Searches your opening, and it gives you an additional normal summon. It's also a Fiend. The new card, 3 Samsara D Lotus. This is a new card that came out in Phantom Nightmare. You could tribute itself and then summon one of your Yubels. Also, during the end phase, if you control Yubel, you can special summon it or add it back to hand. Next, 3 Spirit of Yubel. This catches a lot of people off guard. This has a battle effect to special it when your opponent declares an attack. On summon, you can set or add a Yubel spell or trap. That's really good. Your searcher, it's level 10, which comes up as well too. The bricks, 1 Yubel and 1 Terra Incarnate Yubel. I'm not playing the third one until the support comes out. I just don't think it's as good, and it's just another added brick. Yubel, your main boss monster, and then this can dark hold the board during the end phase, and then this has to tribute for its maintenance cost at the end phase. But they all loop each other when you pop them, so you just keep changing them out, which is why I play a small Unchained engine.
There you go.
Shyama's the better one, especially in this build and stuff, but I added Shavara just because it's very hard for the Fire King deck to play through Caesar. So I played a bigger Unchained package right now. This is great, the Shyama, because you can discard it off the opening, and then Shavara combined with anything or searching it, you can just make the Caesar. Next for hand traps, I play 3 Droll. I think it's the most impactful right now, and I don't have a lot of room to run a lot of hand traps because it'll get really bricky, because this deck is mainly just normal summon right now until April. So if that gets stopped, you're kind of in a bad spot. Yeah, and it's a level 1, which, I mean, you can link it off with. Just link fodder, worst case. Or discard fodder for the opening. Next, 3 Abominations Prison. Just to try to turbo out that Caesar, and it also has the same effect as the traps when it gets popped to special summon. So just another interaction they have to deal with. And just try to get to the engine more consistently. Because I was trying to make it as consistent as possible, because a lot of people are running so many hand traps in it, and it's just not great. Next, 3 Nightmare Pain. This is a new card as well. This is amazing. You pop a dark on field or in hand to search. And cool thing about it is, like, it doesn't pop for cost, so you can just declare effect and they have to ash it right then and there. It also forces your opponent to attack, and then they take the damage, which is really cool. That's how you get a lot of your OTK lines, and people don't know this. And if you don't have a Yubel on board, like you're holding Spirit in hand, they'll just enter battle phase, and then you special the Spirit. Now they're forced to attack it, and they take the damage, and you can just kind of win from there. Okay. And you can add it back with opening because it's a continuous spell. 3 Super Poly, the star of the show. I mean, the new Yubel fusion is insane. You can Super Poly your opponent's entire board and then burn them. Also, the new fusion will banish the monster that battles. So as long as you can get a Yubel name to stick on board even for a second, and you have Super Poly, you can break any board in the game.
I hate that card.
Yeah, spell speed 4 is kind of unfair. 2 Opening. It's an amazing starter, but it's not the one you want to open. You want to open the Beckoning Beast. So instead, I decided to play 2 of these and 3 of the Beckoning, because opening this is worse, because then you just summon the Beckoning and search another one of these. But this has 3 effects, and a lot of people don't realize it. On activation, you can add the Dark Beckoning Beast, and then you can discard a card and summon a 0/0 Fiend. Third effect, if you control level 10, you can add back Continuous. So if they pop your Pain, you can add it back, which I did several times. I added it back like 2 or 3 times, or add itself back. And it's got the same rolling as like the Lightsworn, so it discards for cost. So as long as you have a previous target, you can discard your Spirit of Yubel and then just summon Yubel. Summon the Spirit, which is why I don't play that Grinder Golem. I think that's just kind of bad to have a 1-of and the Spirit of Yubel in hand when you can just do it off this if you open Spirit of Yubel. 2 map for consistency. It does cost half your life points, but you need a starter. Like, This deck also just loses to Droll, which is kind of unfortunate, and why I'm not playing 3 of them, but you have to see your starter, and you're only running 5 normal summons, so... Or, sorry, 6. 2 Prosby. Once again, just a consistency card. You've got plenty of targets, but mainly just use it for 3. But it's Ash bait, and we just need consistency. There's a lot of 2-card combos in this. Talents. It's a good board breaker. I mean, they're gonna Ash or Droll you most likely. They kind of have to, or you'll just full combo. And it helps break boards, because like I said, we're not running a lot of hand traps. So this is kind of one of your best bets. 1 for 1. Consistency, and it gets you full combo, so if you can bait their interruptions with the other 4 cards in hand, and then stick this. 1 call by. Like I said, we lose to Droll, so.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
Yeah, and then 3 Imperma is my other hand trap. This deck hard loses to Appaloosa, because the Fire Kings, yeah, they pop cards, and you can keep looping, and that's great, but if they negate and destroy and then you use effect and then they just Appo it, you're just too far behind and you just lose, which just kept coming up. And it's a fantastic 6 card, and as long as you could stop the Appaloosa, like, you're pretty fine. You can push through most boards. And doing this on the Ash hurts a lot. I'm running 2 of the trap. I was testing 1 for a while. I'm at 2 right now. It's kind of bricky, but there's a combo if you're playing around Nib to do this, and then there's a combo where you end on the full board plus the pops and stuff, so it just kind of depended. If I opened one of them, I wanted my Shavar to be able to set something, so decided to play 2. And the last card, 1 Eternal Favorite. This is your knockoff Super Poly, as well as special summoning Yubel from Grave or Banished. Yeah, so this is the trap you'll set. This is how you confuse your opponent's entire board, and then it's just once per turn, continuous recursion if you don't use its fuse effect, which is really good. And that's it for the main deck. 41 cards. Just trying to bump it to 42 to offset the 2 Yubel bricks. The extra deck, rocking 2 Yubels. I was rocking 1 for a while, but the thing is the Super Poly will come up and then the trap will come up. So I wanted to have 2 targets for it, especially like if you're in a good position and you can just loop it. I wanted to have it twice, because some decks have a lot of recursion. Even if they fuse their whole board, they can have that crackback. Other Super Poly targets, 1 Earth Golem at Ignister. This card's amazing. Once I realized that the Fire King and Snake Eyes, they end on IP and Appaloosa. So this takes a Cyberus monster and a Link monster. So one of the Super Poly targets I found that you could just fuse both of them away, which is really good. 1 Garura, Super Poly target, draw. And 1 Mud Dragon, generic Super Poly targets. For the Xyz, the 1 Caesar, because this just kind of stops just about every deck. 1 Typhon. Don't know how I feel about it, but like, it's alright. I mean, it stops a Barone and it bounces a card. And 1 Super Dreadnought, Rail Cannon.
Okay.
Yeah, the list becomes a lot better and a lot more consistent in April with the rank 10 Omni Negate and stuff like that, but right now we have this, and I mean, there's a lot of cool lines like you can do with this and stuff, because you can overlay for this and then swing with it, and that's 3k damage, and then detach, and that's 5k damage. Especially if like you make a link, because depending on Fire King's end board, they'll pay 1,000 for the draw of the salad card, and then they'll do it again. They'll put them at 6k. So this just closes out games. There's so many times they're at 2,000 or less life points, and you just overlay 2 level 10s and just kill them. That's a 3k beat stick. So Link 1 Almirage. This is basically like mandatory in the Dark Beckoning Beasts. I see some people not playing it, and then Anima is not bad too. I should run one, but I'm just not currently. Almirage is really good because if you summon the Beckoning Beast and you already have the Gate and the Imperm, you can link one into Almirage, and then you can, now you have that 0/0 Fiend engraved, so you can discard the Spirit of Yubel to summon Spirit of Yubel. So you need the link one for that. And he's really good because he plays around Lightning Storm. So I've ended on Almirage and Caesar, and I got Lightning Stormed, and I just tributed this, protected it. So its effect comes up. And then 2 Yama. This is how you search and get into your Unchained package. This is how when a card gets popped, you summon back from the graveyard. It's also 2k for a Link 2, which isn't bad, considering all your Fiends and everything you play is like a 0. And it searches a 2k, so that's already 4k damage. That's not bad. That's just how you Link climb. And then that goes into Soul of Rage, which just link during your opponent's turn and add back. I had the red dog in here, but I took that out because like every time you're using Soul of Rage, you're just going into Little Knight. Like that's pretty much all you do. I took out the Abomination too. Like you really just don't link climb that much. Just to answer spot removal and problems, and if they leave a big monster on board, 9 times out of 10 you can just crash into it. And this deck also has a super good matchup against Voiceless Voice, which is really funny, because it can't negate and destroy any of your Yubels, because then they'll just trigger. And then they end on a 4100 monster, so you just crash into it and they die, which is kind of funny. And last card, 1 Muckracker. This is really good. You can discard, summon back one of your fiends, and like, yeah, it can't be used as link material, but it can be used as tribute fodder for Yubel, so during the end phase, you can just tribute this off with the Yubel. And it just gets that recursion. You can bring back the Shavara, the Shyama, or something like that, make your Caesar, summon back your Yubel. You can just do a lot of things with it. Just generic, not bad. Yeah, so I've been changing this up back and forth, trying to figure it out. I mean, this deck's not amazing right now, I'll be honest. I'm really just waiting till April, but this is the best I came up with our locals and just kind of the meta. So my go first card is Different Dimension Ground.
Okay.
So this turn, any monster sent to the grave is banished instead, so it's kind of like your budget shifter. But it's great for going first, and you really don't care. Like, some list even side shifter, especially post-April when we get the support, because your stuff doesn't have to go to the grave, so like that's fine, and your inboard doesn't really matter. Like you'll lose the rage, but you'll still SP him, and then Fire King just can't play under this card at all. And then 3 Soul Release, just to hurt the Fire King matchup, just get rid of those interactions of the Princess and Grave, the Garunix, everything like that. I mean, you still have to deal with their hand and their field, which will be Appaloosa, whatever, but at least I'm taking out some of their follow-up and a lot of those graveyard interruptions that can be real pesky and annoying. 3 Cosmic Cyclones, mainly for the Fire King spell. Also against like Skill Drain and stuff, that can really hurt this deck, because then you'll take the damage. And it'll just, it turns off your Yubels and all your monsters and stuff like that, so it's for your back row decks, your Labyrinth, but mainly if you hit the island, at least it gets rid of like an Appaloosa or something like that. Makes their board more manageable. It's a good card, because they'll have the protection with Sanctuary, so I didn't use any popping back row. And then 3 Bell. I think it's just a great card right now, especially on like Flamberge's effect. I didn't main it because I was just like 9 hand traps, and the decks just need to be consistent, but I think it's one of the better hand traps. I was also trying out Crow. I've been going back and forth because it is a dark, so it has synergy with Nightmare Pain as well as being a hand trap. But this also hits Lab, so I've just been kind of going back and forth on it. For one of just kind of power spells, 1 Change of Heart, 1 Snatch Steal, and 1 Harpies. This is a Link Climb deck. Granted, I mean, the Unchained stuff, they need a Fiend and stuff, but you still have Muckracker and other stuff like that. So any Link deck, I think Snatch, Steal, and Change of Heart are really good. Yeah. And then Harpies is Harpies. It can be a blowout, so this is what I'm testing. The list has been changing a lot. I'm really just excited for April for the support.
Alright, dude, it seems like you got it going on. You say you're waiting for April for the new support. Yeah. It seems like it's going to do okay in a few more events until then. I can tell you're still kind of working on it, but, for what it is, man, it looks pretty powerful.
Oh, it's a sleeper. Honestly, until April, like, it is a meta contender. Like, our teammate Alex, he plays, the Fire King, the best deck. And I showed him the April combos, and, like, even what the deck can kind of do now in its full combo, he's like, it's actually a real threat. Like, it's not a laughable deck, especially April, you get the Field Spell and the Grave Squirmer. It just becomes so more consistent. You can super poly your opponent's entire board. Like, you can't destroy them, which is great against the Fire King matchup. Like, it becomes a real contender. Like, I could see it taking some top spots, and it's so much fun to play. I mean, who doesn't love Yubel?
What events we gonna see at maybe this year, huh?
I plan on going to YCS Raleigh in North Carolina. We've got a Texas regional. Yeah. That was Houston planned in a couple weeks. And then anything probably after April, maybe May time frame. I'll have to look it up.
Together.
Hopefully. Maybe you'll see me playing this. That's the goal, but it's more testing.
Well, cool, man. We appreciate you going out and play. Good deck profile. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Get us up there. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. We're getting close, and it's all thanks to these guys going out there and showing them what it means to be a player. It's really cool. I appreciate you, Devin.
All right,
All right, peace.
Peace.